Hello, my name is Dan Johnson and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be doing a ranking of the Ninth Doctor adventures, the big finish you've done over the last year. The new series, as in Series 2, is on the way pretty soon, which is quite exciting, and as I haven't really talked about the Ninth Doctor adventures yet properly, I mean, I've spoken about them on Twitter, for example, and said that I liked this one, I didn't think much to this one, or this kind of stuff. I decided it was time to start talking about the Ninth Doctor adventures, and I didn't know quite how to do it. I think a review would have been too laborious, and I felt like the attention span of trying to get people to be interested in, a review of episodes that are nearly a year old would be really difficult. So I thought that I would do a tier list and make that fun and exciting and trending about 6 months ago. So if you don't know how a tier list works, they're basically categories. I've labelled some of my own here. I did change a few of them, but most of them are the same. So down at the bottom we have "Why don't you just die?" which is from Dalek.
Run for your life!
Just shut up a minute.
Rose, I'm trying to resonate concrete.
Which basically just means it's a bit dull or just wasn't for me.
Your wish is my command, but be careful what you wish for.
It was kind of there, but there was a nag somewhere that I just didn't like about it, which did not make it the final category.
That's not just amazing, it's fantastic!
So none of them fell into our two bottom categories, because I felt like none of them were that bad. My lowest episode goes in the "just shut up a minute" category, and that is The Curse of Lady Macbeth. For me, this just wasn't a story I was particularly interested in. I'm not really fussed about things like Macbeth, and I know that for people like Christopher Eccleston, who are actors who have done Macbeth multiple times and are interested in that sort of lore, then that's going to be a really good episode for them. But for me, I just found it a little bit ploddy, and I wasn't quite sure what was going on because I didn't see the connections between the story or anything like that. It just was not my cup of tea, that one. I wouldn't say it was even that bad, to be fair. If we go one up, we have Rose, I'm Trying to Resonate Concrete, and in that section I put all of the first volume. I put all of Ravagers in there. I felt like they are all one story, therefore they should all go together, and I can't really judge them separately because you need all three parts. Ravagers, I enjoyed. I enjoyed the interactions. I enjoyed the Ninth Doctor. The story was quite engaging, but flip me, it was a bit all over the place. And I mean, literally time-wise, it was all over the place. With Ravagers, I've listened to it about 5 times. So I listened to it maybe twice when it first came out, a third time before the vinyl came. Then I listened to it when the vinyl came, and then I think I listened to it just before the final volume came out. So that's about 5 times. And with each time I've listened to it, I am still slightly confused. Part of me thinks, oh, it's incredibly clever and creative that they have tangled such a web, as in Nicholas Briggs, he's tangled such a web of time that it kind of makes sense because I don't feel like I'm lacking things, but then at the same time, there is something underwhelming about the whole thing, or just something that doesn't feel like it quite works because you feel lost by it. The thing just takes you along and you're not really picking anything up because the story is so non-linear and all over the place that it just feels like a bunch of scenes, which is something that I'm ashamed to say I don't think quite worked. But then again, I have listened to it 5 times, so there must be something about it that I found rewarding enough to go back and listen to it over and over again, and I'm learning, how the story functions and the structure of it slowly, even though that structure is very messy. Our next story is Fright Motif. I think the message or the theme within this story was brilliant. A kind of like a PTSD sort of musician, and how his music is sort of tailing him as creatures, and that design in my head of what this musical creature looks like, I think is really pretty. But a little bit like The Curse of Lady Macbeth, I felt like I didn't connect with it as much as I'd like to, and on that basis, I simply could not put it any higher. Into our next category, Your Wish is My Command, but be careful what you wish for. We have Girl Deconstructed. In fact, I might as well just talk about both stories on this category together, which is Girl Deconstructed and The Hunting Season. These two were really brilliant stories. The first one, I loved the domestic drama to that one and the relationship between daughter and father. I thought was brilliant, and having the Ninth Doctor there just kind of like a tag along, I think was really, really cool, and it gave a nice domestic sort of threat, less than a big alien invasion. And then the hunting season was a beautiful story about class and terrifying monsters, which I really, really enjoyed, way more than I expected to. The only thing with these two stories is I feel like they would be out of place on our top level. I think that in terms of my enjoyment and my feelings for these top tier stories, they're much stronger than for these. So I accept that they're brilliant, but I don't think they're quite fantastic. The Planet of the End is the first story in our top tier category. I enjoyed this story because I enjoyed the way that it told its story. It was very different compared to all of the others, and a lot of Doctor Who can become quite samey. It can become a bit more like, oh, here's an invasion, here's a time issue, here's this, here's that. But with this story, I felt like it had a threat, it had time, and it was so creative in how it told its story that I think it has to go on the top tier. The robot character was cool, and the payoff to the Doctor's plan I think was brilliant. So overall, that just has to go up here for me. I just enjoyed that story, and I admire it so much that it had to go there.
I don't want to do this, so excuse the state of my voice, but I'm afraid I've missed one, and I've missed Fond Farewell. This was a story in the last set, and I enjoyed it probably because it suited me. It featured themes that I enjoyed and moral questions about whether you keep someone alive in order to say goodbye to them, and do you have all of that personally? Do you highlight bits, and a kind of technology gone too far kind of scenario? And I thought that it was very well written, fully enjoyable story.
Our next story is Monsters in Metropolis. Now, this is a brilliant story. I bang on a lot about representation of the Cybermen and how they come across a lot as robots, but within this story, they are proper humans, and they really humanize this one Cyberman that they focus on. The episode itself is about a film from the 1920s, or definitely between World War One and World War Two, where it's a silent film, and it was filmed in Berlin, and it's sort of like the first sort of appearance of sci-fi, and it's from a director called Fritz Lang, who had a lot of issues with trying to make something that no one quite literally understood because no one knew what he was doing, because sci-fi wasn't a thing at that time. And there's like a metal man thing, and that supposedly is the Cyberman during the episode. So I really enjoyed the story, and the representation of the Cyberman I think is just absolutely brilliant. It's such an interesting time. Definitely want to check out. And then our final two episodes are the final two episodes in the series, and that is Way of the Berryman and the Fourth Generation. I really enjoyed these two stories. Part of it is because it was like the finale, it was the big end. But I love the Cybermen. The Cybermen are treated really well. The Brigadier is excellent. I enjoy Unit. Unit's like my biggest series with Big Finish. So having Sam Bishop and having sort of his origins, I suppose, I think is a lovely way to do it. And overall, those two parts are just really well written, great, interesting stories. There's a lot of little connections. They reference Monsters in Metropolis, about how the Cybermen's like final lines or something about come forth, and that's what they're referring to. But yeah, really good Cyberman invasion story, lots of action, brilliant interactions. What else can you wish for? That has to go up on that top shelf as well. So thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure you give it a like, subscribe. If you're new, I may do some more Big Finish ranking videos, because this has been quite fun. I think that we've got Stranded ending, I think, next month, so maybe that could be the next one that we do. But I thought it would be fun for me to do something different and something that I've never done before. But until next time, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. Comment your favourite episode of the Ninth Doctor Adventures. And are you excited for the next series of adventures starting in May, I believe? But anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you soon.